Stop believing this lie about intelligence. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, they are just naturally smart? Maybe you said it about a classmate, a teacher, a leader, or someone famous. It feels easy to believe. Some people win. Some people understand fast. Some people always have the answer. So we tell ourselves a simple story. They were born that way. But this story is a lie. A quiet lie. A comfortable lie. A dangerous lie. Because the moment you believe it, you stop growing. You stop trying. You stop pushing yourself. You stop building your mind. And your life becomes smaller than it could be. Here is the truth. You are not limited by your intelligence. You are limited by your habits. You are not stuck with your brain. You are shaping it every single day. Your brain is not a fixed thing. It is alive. It changes. It grows. Like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The more you challenge it, the sharper it gets. The more you train it, the more powerful it feels. This means something very important. You were not born smart. You become smart. And that changes everything. It means your future is not locked. It means your past does not define you. It means you can start today, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. But there is a problem. Most people never realize this. They live their whole life thinking they are average. They avoid hard things. They stay in comfort. They say, this is just who I am. And slowly, they stop growing. But the smartest people in the world live differently. They think differently. They act differently. They train their minds on purpose. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait to feel confident. They build themselves, step by step, day by day. And over time, they become unstoppable. Not because they were special, but because they were consistent. So what makes them different? What do they do that others don't? The answer is simple. They master a few core skills. Not magic skills, not secret talents. Simple skills, learnable skills, repeatable skills. Skills that anyone can build, including you. In this journey, we will explore these skills, slowly, clearly, deeply. And you will see something powerful. You already have the potential. You just need to unlock it. Let's begin with the first and most important skill, deep focus. In today's world, focus is rare, very rare. Your phone vibrates, a message appears, a video plays, another video starts, and before you know it, your attention is gone. Pulled in 10 directions. Your mind becomes busy, but not productive. Active, but not deep. You feel like you are doing a lot, but you are not moving forward. This is the trap of distraction, and almost everyone is stuck in it. They check their phone every few minutes. They switch tasks again and again. They start things but never finish them. Their attention is broken. And when attention is broken, thinking becomes weak. Because real thinking needs time. Time to go deeper. Time to connect ideas. Time to understand. Without focus, your brain cannot build strong connections. It only touches the surface, and surface thinking creates shallow results. But the smartest people protect their focus. They treat it like gold. They know that focus is power. When you focus, your mind becomes sharp. When you focus, your ideas become clear. When you focus, you see things others miss. Focus turns effort into progress. Imagine sunlight. When it spreads everywhere, it only gives light. But when you focus it through a lens, it can start a fire. That is your attention. Scattered attention gives you small results. Focused attention creates big change. So how do you build focus? You start small, very small. Do not try to focus for hours. That will fail. Start with 20 minutes. One task, one goal, no distractions. No phone, no social media, no switching.
just you and the work. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. You will feel the urge to check something, to move, to escape. That is normal. Your brain is used to distraction. But every time you stay, even for one more minute, you are training your mind. You are building strength. Slowly, your focus grows. 20 minutes becomes 30. 30 becomes 45. 45 becomes 1 hour. And something amazing happens. You begin to think deeper. You understand faster. You remember more. You create better ideas. This is not magic. This is training. Your brain is changing. Scientists have shown this. When you focus deeply, your brain builds stronger pathways. It becomes faster, more efficient, more powerful. In simple words, focus makes you smarter. But there is another benefit: peace. When you focus, your mind becomes calm. It stops jumping. It stops racing. You feel present, alive in the moment. This state is called flow. In flow, time disappears. You forget everything else, and you become fully connected to your work. This is where your best thinking happens. But there is an enemy:
Distraction. Every time you switch tasks, your brain loses energy. Part of your mind stays behind. This is called attention residue. It means you are never fully present. You are always divided. That is why multitasking feels tiring, because it breaks your mind into pieces. Smart people understand this. They do not multitask when it matters. They do one thing, fully. Then they rest. Then they start again. Deep work, deep rest. This is the rhythm of growth. You can build this rhythm. Create simple rules. No phone during work. No scrolling in the morning. No distractions when reading. Protect your attention, because your attention is your life. Where your attention goes, your future follows. If you give your attention to noise, your life becomes noise. If you give your attention to growth, your life becomes growth. It is that simple. So choose carefully. Every day, every moment. Focus is not just a skill. It is a decision. A decision to respect your time. A decision to respect your mind. And a decision to build a better future. Now, let's move to the second skill: emotional control. You can be very smart. You can know many things. But if you cannot control your emotions, you will make bad decisions. Because emotions are powerful. They can lift you or they can destroy you. When anger rises, you stop thinking clearly. When fear grows, you doubt yourself. When stress increases, you lose focus. In these moments, your intelligence disappears. Not because it is gone, but because it is blocked. That is why emotional control is a superpower. It allows you to stay calm, to think clearly, to act wisely, even in difficult situations. Smart people do not ignore emotions. They feel them, but they do not let emotions control them. They pause. They breathe. They create space between feeling and action. And in that space, they choose their response. This small pause changes everything. Imagine two people. Both face the same problem. One reacts immediately. He gets angry. He blames others. He makes quick decisions. The problem becomes bigger. The second person pauses. He breathes. He looks at the situation calmly. He responds with clarity. The problem becomes a lesson. Same situation, different outcome. The difference is not intelligence. It is control. Emotional control does not mean you become cold.
It means you become aware. You understand your feelings. You ask, what is this emotion telling me? Because every emotion has a message.
Anger may show something is unfair. Fear may show you need to prepare. Sadness may show you need rest. But emotions are messengers, not masters. Smart people listen to the message, but they choose the action. To build this skill, start with awareness. Notice your emotions. When you feel angry, say, I feel anger. When you feel fear, say, I feel fear. This simple step creates distance. You are not the emotion. You are the observer, and that gives you power. Next, slow down. Take a deep breath. Give yourself time. Do not act immediately. Emotions are like waves. They rise, they fall. If you wait, they pass. And when they pass, you can think clearly again. This is how you take control. Over time, you become calmer, stronger, more stable. You stop reacting to everything. You choose your actions. And that is true intelligence. Because intelligence is not just thinking fast. It is thinking clearly, even when life is hard, even when emotions are strong, even when everything feels uncertain. This is where part 1 ends. In the next part, you'll discover more skills that will change how you think, how you act, and how you grow. Continue when you are ready. Part 2. Now you understand something important. Focus builds your mind. Emotional control protects your mind. But there is another skill, a skill that keeps your mind alive. Lifelong learning. Most people think learning ends at school. They study for exams, they pass, they stop. And slowly, their mind becomes quiet. Not peaceful, but inactive. They stop asking questions. They stop exploring. They stop growing. But the smartest people never stop learning. Not when they leave school, not when they get a job, not even when they become successful. They stay curious. Always. They look at the world and ask, why? They see a problem and ask, how? They imagine new ideas and ask, what if? This curiosity keeps their mind sharp. It keeps their thinking fresh. It keeps their life moving forward. Because learning is not about information. It is about transformation. Every time you learn something new, your brain changes. New connections form. New ideas appear. New possibilities open. You begin to see the world differently. And when you see differently, you act differently. This is how growth happens. But there is a trap. Many people think learning must be hard. They think they need hours of study, big books, complicated systems. So they avoid it. But learning can be simple, very simple.
You can read a few pages, watch one useful video, listen to a short podcast. Small steps, but done every day. This is the secret. Consistency beats intensity. 10 minutes every day is stronger than 3 hours once a week because repetition builds memory, and memory builds understanding, and understanding builds intelligence. You can also learn from life, from mistakes, from failure, from other people. Every situation is a lesson, if you choose to see it. Smart people do not fear mistakes, they use them. They ask, what did this teach me? And then they improve. This is why they grow faster. Not because they fail less, but because they learn more. There is another powerful method, teaching. When you teach something, you understand it better. Your brain organizes the idea. It becomes clear. It becomes simple. So when you learn something new, share it. Explain it to a friend. Write about it. Speak it out loud. Teaching is learning twice. Lifelong learners are also humble. They do not think they know everything. In fact, the more they learn, the more they realize how much they do not know. And this keeps them open to new ideas, open to change, open to growth. This is true intelligence, not knowing everything, but always being ready to learn anything. Now let's move to the next skill, critical thinking. In today's world, information is everywhere. News, videos, social media. Everyone has an opinion, but not everything is true, not everything is useful, and not everything is real. Without critical thinking, you become a follower. You believe what you hear, you react without thinking, you lose control of your own mind. But smart people think differently. They pause, they question, they ask, is this true? Where is the proof? Who is saying this? Why are they saying this? These questions protect them. They create clarity. They remove confusion. Critical thinking is not about doubting everything. It is about understanding deeply. It is about thinking clearly. Before you believe, before you decide, before you act. Most people react fast. They see something emotional. They feel something strong. They respond immediately. But smart people slow down. They think first. They do not let emotions control their judgment. They look for truth, not comfort. This is a big difference, because comfort feels good, but truth makes you grow. Critical thinkers are also flexible. They are not afraid to change their mind.
If new evidence appears, they adjust. They say, I was wrong, and they learn again. This takes courage, but it builds wisdom, because growth requires change. If you hold on to old ideas, you stay the same. If you update your thinking, you evolve. This skill is powerful in every area of life, in decisions, in relationships, in your career. When you think critically, you see more clearly. You avoid mistakes. You solve problems better. You make smarter choices. To build this skill, start asking better questions. When you hear something, do not accept it immediately. Pause. Think. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? What if I am wrong? What is the other side? These questions sharpen your mind. They train your thinking. Over time, you become more aware, more independent, more powerful, because you are no longer controlled by noise. You are guided by reason. Now let's move to another important skill, discipline. Many people have good ideas. They dream, they plan, they imagine success, but they do not act. Or they act for a short time, then they stop, because they wait for motivation. They wait to feel ready, but motivation is unstable. Some days it is strong, some days it is gone. If you depend on motivation, you will stop often. That is why discipline is more powerful. Discipline means you act even when you do not feel like it. You show up again and again. You do the work even when it is boring, even when it is hard, even when you are tired. This is how progress is built. Small actions repeated daily. This may look simple, but it is rare. Most people choose comfort. They choose easy. They choose now. But smart people choose growth. They choose what matters, even when it is difficult. They build routines. They create systems. They make action automatic. For example, if you read every morning, you do not ask, do I feel like reading? You just read. It becomes part of your identity. This is the power of habit. When actions become habits, they require less effort. They become natural. And when something is natural, you do it consistently. And consistency creates results. You do not need to do big things. You just need to do small things daily. Read a little,
Learn a little, improve a little. Over time, these small steps become big change, like drops of water. One drop is small, but many drops create a river. That is your progress.
Discipline also builds self-trust. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become stronger. You begin to believe in yourself, not because of words, but because of actions. You prove that you can rely on yourself, and this creates confidence, real confidence, not loud, not fake, quiet, strong, stable. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. It frees you from excuses, from laziness, from regret. It gives you control, control of your time, control of your actions, control of your future. And that is true power. Part 3. You have come far. You have learned how to focus, how to control emotions, how to keep learning, how to think clearly, how to stay disciplined. Now we continue, because intelligence is not only inside your mind, it is also how you connect with others. This is the next skill, communication. Many people think communication means speaking a lot, talking fast, using big words, trying to sound smart. But this is not true. Real communication is simple. It is clear. It is calm. It is human. The smartest people are not always the ones who know the most. They're the ones who can explain ideas in a simple way. They take complex thoughts and make them easy to understand. This is power, because an idea is useless if no one understands it. You may have a great idea, but if you cannot express it, it stays inside your head, hidden, silent, inactive. But when you communicate clearly, your ideas move. They reach people. They create change. That is influence. Communication has two parts, speaking and listening. Most people focus only on speaking. They want to talk, to be heard, to be right. But smart people listen first. They give attention, full attention. They look at the person. They hear the words. They feel the emotion behind the words. Because communication is not only language, it is energy. When you truly listen, people feel it. They feel respected. They feel understood. And when people feel understood, they open up. This creates connection. And connection is powerful. It builds trust. It builds relationships. It builds opportunities. Listening also teaches you. Every person knows something you do not know. Every conversation is a chance to learn. If you listen deeply, you gain insight. You understand how people think, what they value, what they fear. This makes you wiser. Now let's talk about speaking. Good speaking is not about being perfect. It is about being clear. Use simple words, short sentences. Speak slowly. Pause when needed. Let your message breathe. When you speak clearly, people understand. When people understand, they listen more. When they listen more, your impact grows. Also, be honest. Do not try to impress. Try to connect. Speak with sincerity. Speak with intention. People can feel the difference. They remember how you made them feel, more than what you said. Communication is also body language. Your posture, your eyes, your tone. These things speak without words. Stand straight. Look with confidence. Speak with calm energy. You do not need to be loud. Calm voices carry power. Now think about great leaders. They move people with words. They inspire action, not because they shout, but because they connect. This is a skill you can build. Start small. Explain ideas simply. Listen more than you talk. Observe reactions. Learn from every conversation.
Over time, you will improve, and your voice will become strong, not loud, but meaningful. Now we move to the final skill, adaptability. The world is changing fast, very fast. Technology changes, jobs change, ideas change. Nothing stays the same. This can feel scary, uncertain, unstable, but smart people see it differently. They see change as opportunity, not as danger. They do not resist change. They adapt, they adjust, they grow. Adaptability means flexibility. When something does not work, you try another way. When a plan fails, you create a new plan. You do not stop, you move. Imagine water. Water flows. If it meets a rock, it does not fight. It goes around, and it keeps moving forward. That is adaptability. Strong, but flexible. Many people get stuck. They say, this is not fair. This should not happen. They resist reality, and they suffer. But adaptable people accept reality. They say, this is hard, but I will find a way.
This mindset changes everything. Because once you accept reality, you can act. You can move forward. Adaptability also means learning new things, fast. When something changes, you learn. You ask questions. You try. You improve. You do not say, I cannot do this. You say, I will learn this. This attitude makes you unstoppable because no matter what happens, you can grow. Even failure becomes useful because failure teaches you. It shows you what does not work. It gives you experience. It makes you stronger. Adaptable people do not fear failure. They use it. They grow from it. They move forward, again and again. This is resilience, the ability to rise after falling, to continue after difficulty, to grow through change. And this is true intelligence, not knowing everything, but being able to handle anything. Now take a moment. Think about everything you learned. Focus, emotional control, lifelong learning, critical thinking, discipline, communication, adaptability. These are not talents, they are skills. And skills can be built, step by step, day by day. You do not need to master everything at once. Start with one, just one. Maybe focus, maybe discipline, maybe learning. Choose one skill, practice it daily, even for a short time. Stay consistent, stay patient. Growth takes time, but it always comes if you keep going. Remember this, you are not behind. You are not limited. You are not stuck. You are in progress. You are becoming. Every choice you make, every habit you build, every action you take is shaping your mind. You are building your intelligence right now, not someday, today. So stop believing the lie. Stop saying, I am not smart. Say instead, I am learning. I am growing. I am building my mind. Because that is the truth. One day, people may look at you and say, they are so smart. They were born that way. And you will smile, because you will know the truth. You were not born that way. You became that way. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Self-Study Every Day for more helpful lessons. Leave a comment and tell me what you want to learn next.